Okay, so let's get into braiding and braid extensions. I am reading out of the Milady Standard Cosmetology book, 14th edition. We are moving on to chapter 13, braid and braid extensions. The learning objectives. After completing this chapter, you will be able to explain the advantages of learning basic braiding and braid extension styles, explain braiding salons, and the braiding consultation, describe how to use each of the tools and materials for braiding and extensions, describe 6 types of foundational braiding techniques: rope, fishtail, halo, invisible, single, and corn. When you surround yourself with people who strive to be their best selves, you can grow stronger together. Vernon Francois. Why study braiding and braid extensions? From its origins in Africa to its global popularity today, hair braiding has always played a significant role in grooming and beauty practices. Braiding styles continue to communicate important signals about a person's self-esteem and self-image. Cosmetologists should study and have a thorough understanding of braiding and braid extensions because these services are very popular because clients are interested in wearing styles specific to their hair texture and which complement their lifestyle. These techniques provide an opportunity for stylists to express their artistic abilities and to add another high ticket service to their current service menu. Working with braid extensions exposes cosmetologists to the fundamental techniques of adding hair extensions, which is another lucrative service for the stylist and the salon. Braiding clients can become repeat customers to maintain and keep enjoying their styles. Braiding salons are becoming more prevalent throughout the United States. These salons practice natural hairstyling without using chemicals or altering the hair's natural curl or coil pattern. Research state requirements and regulations, as some states offer a specialty license specific to braiding or natural hair specialist. As a specialist, you may be limited to natural hair services or hair braiding services. Whether you work in a traditional or braiding salon, offering your clients different braid styles can inspire your creativity as an artist and create greater client loyalty. Some braided styles can be achieved in minutes while others take several hours to complete. These more complex styles are not disposable hairdos to be casually brushed out. With proper care, a braided hair design can last 2 to 3 months. Because the investment in those complex styles is high for both the client and stylist, you don't want the client to reject your work and demand that the braids be removed. Giving your client a thorough and detailed consultation is the best way to avoid miscommunication, ensure a positive outcome. Always fill out a client intake form during the initial consultation and update it every time the client returns. Braiding consultation. A consultation is the best way to understand and determine a client's needs and wants. It is also your opportunity to provide the correct braiding services and properly manage the client's style and expectations. In addition to the hairstyling consultation questions, there are 3 specific considerations for the braiding consultation. 1. Analyze the client's hair and scalp condition to determine if braiding is a healthy option. 2. Pay particular attention to hair type, texture, and curl configuration. 3. Note any scalp abrasions, active hair thinning, or balding. You should also ask your client the following questions. Which braid style works for you with your current look? What styling tools do you use to create your look? How much time would you like to devote to maintaining your braids? Is there a certain facial feature that you want your braids to emphasize or de-emphasize? Eyes, jawline, ears, etc. Do you own hair care or styling accessories, swim cap, hair wraps, etc. to protect your braids during sleep, swim, or exercise? How long do you expect your new braided style to last? Have you noticed any recent changes in your hair or scalp? Brittleness, thinning, or skin irritation. Some clients will know the exact braided style they desire, while others may need guidance from you. During the consultation, the braider or stylist should always point out braided hairstyles that are of interest to the client, whether they are single, box braids, cornrows, or a combination of braided styles. As a cosmetologist, it is your responsibility to personalize every braiding service to enhance each client's individual beauty. Alopecia. Evaluating the hair and scalp is essential for a successful service. If the hair has extremely thin areas, for instance, the braid thickness will be noticeably different in those areas, and the hair and scalp could be further compromised with a braiding service. Check the scalp for alopecia, excessive, active, or abnormal hair loss. Avoid offering services to a client with damaged hair so as to not further stress the hair follicle. Since the hairline is generally thinner and finer, never choose a style that pulls on the hair follicles or places excessive tension in this or any fragile area. Tools and materials for braiding and extensions. Second only to expertise, artists are only as good as their tools when it comes to cutting, coloring, creating natural hairstyles, and braiding. No matter the hair's length and texture, certain tools are essential to master various braiding techniques. Your basic braiding tool belt will consist of the following. As you gain more experience, you'll likely discover additional favorites. Boar bristle brush, natural hair brush, best for stimulating the scalp, smoothing dry texture hair, and removing dirt and lint from locks. Soft nylon brushes combined with boar bristle. Option for fine, soft hair, especially around the hairline, and for smoothing wet textured hair. Square paddle brush, detangling brush, good for releasing tangles, knots, and snarls in short textured hair and long, straight, wavy, and curly hair. Its pneumatic pad collapses when it meets resistance to avoid damaging delicate textures. Used for blow drying all texture hair. Vent brush. Gently removes tangles in wet and wavy hair, dry and curly hair, and human hair extensions. Wide tooth comb. Available in various shapes and designs with wooden teeth or hard plastic rounded tips to avoid scratching the scalp and damaging the hair. Larger spaced teeth allow textured hair to move between the rows of teeth without snagging. Double tooth comb, detangling comb, used for separating the hair, excellent for wet curly hair. Tail comb, excellent for design parting, sectioning large hair segments, and opening and removing braids. Blow dryer with comb nozzle attachment. Loosens the curl pattern and texture hair for braiding styles and dries, and stretches and softens texture hair. Hair with a hard plastic comb nozzle. Avoid metal nozzles as they can overheat and cause damage. Cool setting can be used to speed up air drying. 5-inch shears, used for trimming excess extension material. Long clips, used for separating hair into large sections. Butterfly and small clips, used to separate and hold hair into large or small sections. Hooded dryer, used to completely dry and finish braided styles. Steamer, deeply hydrates, moisturizes, and conditions the hair with water vapor. The steam vapor dryer infuses water hydration, opening the cuticle layer of the hair shaft and enabling nourishing protein conditioners and botanical oils to penetrate deeply into the cortex layer. Steamers are used as part of the post-service follow-up on braid extensions. Small rubber bands, clear elastic bands, or string used to secure hair ends. Bobby pins and hairpins used to secure braided hair as needed. Hackle, board of fine upright nails through which human hair extensions are combed, used for detangling or blending colors and highlights. Drawing board, flat leather pads with very close fine teeth that sandwich human hair extensions. The pads are weighed down with books, allowing the specific amount of hair to be extracted without loosening and disturbing the rest of the hair during the braiding process. Various hair products for braiding, such as blow dry or curl cream, detangling solution, edge control, finishing serum or sheen, leave-in conditioner, pomade, texture or made with botanical oil, wax, texturing spray, and styling foam. Materials for extensions. The fibers used in extensions largely determines the extension's success and durability. There are three common types of hair extensions: human hair, animal hair, and synthetic hair. Human hair is the gold standard for hair extensions. Human hair extensions can consist of remy hair, also known as intact cuticle or turned hair, virgin hair, or non-remy or cuticle-free hair. Synthetic and non-human fibers come in a variety of types and materials such as kanekalon, nylon, rayon, yarn, lin, and yak. Kanekalon is an excellent quality synthetic fiber that is highly heat resistant and made specifically for braided style. Animal hair, such as yak, alpaca, and angora, closely mimics human hair but may not work best as a standalone extension. Keep in mind that swatches and color numbers will vary by manufacturer. Refer to Chapter 14, Wigs and Hair Additions, for more information about the various hair extension fibers. Braiding the hair. The first step to braiding is to prepare the hair for the service. It is generally best to braid texture hair when it's dry. Texture hair is more fragile when it's wet. If braided wet, it shrinks and recoils as it dries. This can cause breakage and excessive scalp tension. Blow drying is a quick, effective way to prepare the hair because it will soften it, make it easier to comb and section. Blow drying also loosens and elongates the wave pattern while stretching the length of the hair shaft. This is best for short hair, allowing for easier pickup and manipulation of the hair. To prevent frizzing, use a protective blow dry cream and control the hair while blow drying. Another hair prep option is to twist the hair in large sections, then air dry or place your client under the dryer for 10 to 15 minutes. This method might take a little longer to prep, but it creates less stress on the hair. If you select a braiding style that requires your client's hair to be wet while you manipulate it, apply a foam or curl cream and allow for shrinkage when braiding to avoid damaging the hair and scalp. For straight hair, very lightly coat the hair with a wax, pomade, or texturizing spray to make it more pliable. Follow the steps for preparing texture hair for braiding and procedure 13.1. As you perform the service, consider these helpful tips. After shampooing the client's hair, towel blot the hair without rubbing, tension, or roughing the cuticle, using several towels if necessary. Apply a leave-in conditioner to make combing the hair easier. Begin combing at the ends of the hair strands and gently work out any tangles with moving up towards the scalp. Using a wide tooth or detangling comb. Blow dry and brush the hair with a large paddle brush, beginning at the ends as you did with the comb. Use edge control, pomades, pastes, or serums to hold the hair in place for a finished look. Foundational braids. It is important to master the 6 foundational braiding techniques, which are rope, fishtail, halo, invisible, single, and cornrow. Advanced and trendy braiding techniques build upon these foundations. Once you become proficient with the basic techniques, your creativity, along with additional training and practice, will allow you to create some of the most complex and beautiful styles you and your clients can imagine. When braiding, you may also use the overhead and underhand technique. The overhand technique is a braiding technique in which the first side section goes over the middle, then the other side section goes over the middle strand. You can start with either the right or the left section. What is key is that the side sections go over the middle. The underhand technique, also known as plaiting, is a braiding technique in which the left section goes under the middle strand, then the right section goes under the middle strand. Rope braid. The rope braid is created with 2 strands that are twisted around each other. The rope can be done on hair that is all one length or on long layered hair. Pick up and add hair to both sides before you twist the right side over the left. Fishtail braid. The fishtail braid is a simple 2-strand braid in which the hair is picked up from the sides and added to the strands as they are crossed over each other. It is best done on non-layered hair that is at least shoulder length. Halo braid. Halo braids are 2 or 3 long, simple, inverted, thick cornrows wrapped around the head and pinned. The top crown is left smooth and neat, while the cornrows are pinned around the head to create a halo effect. Invisible braid. The invisible braid uses an overhand pickup technique, and it can be done on or off the scalp with or without extensions. This style is ideal for long hair, but it can also be executed successfully on shorter hair with long layers. If you are dealing with straight layered hair, apply a light coating of wax or pomade to the hair to help hold shorter strands in place. Single braid are free hanging braids with or without extensions executed using either an underhand or an overhand technique. The procedure for medium to large single braids uses the underhand technique. Single braids, also known as box braids or individual braids, can be used with all hair textures and various styles. For instance, 2 or 3 single braids added to a ponytail or chignon elevate the style by adding visual interest. Single box braids partings, or subsections can be diamond, square, triangular, or rectangular. The parting determines where the braid is placed and how it moves. Single box braids can move in any direction, so make sure to braid in the direction you want the hair to fall. Single braids with extensions. Extensions for single braids come in a wide range of sizes and lengths. They are integrated into the natural hair using the three-strand underhand technique. Braiding must be consistent and close together. As part of the consultation step, open the extension fiber package and show them to the client to verify the color is correct. Remove the fibers from the package and, if necessary, cut them to the desired length. Place half the extension fibers in the bottom portion of the drawing board and sandwich them with the board's upper portion. To secure the hair extensions, place a heavy object on top of the board, such as a large book. This allows you to easily extract the appropriate number of fibers for the braids. Human extensions can also be separated and dispensed by a freehand method. When performing single braids with extensions using human hair fibers, you can create a small invisible knot by looping a small strand of hair around the braid. Pull the hair strand through the loop to create an invisible knot. The alternative method is to continue braiding down to the desired hair length. To create a bend on the ends of synthetic braids, wrap the braid ends with a curling rod, then dip all the rodded ends into hot water for 10 to 15 seconds. This method secures the ends and creates a spiral curl at the braid's ends. When braiding children's hair, small elastic bands can be used to hold the ends in place. They also can be adorned with beads at the ends. Other optional finishes, such as singeing with a ceramic flat iron or hot gun, keratin glue, hot tool used for fusion weaving, are advanced methods and require special training. Follow the steps for creating single braids with extensions and procedure 13.3. Clients should visit the salon for post-service follow-up every 2 to 3 weeks to receive a shampoo and steam conditioning treatment and or touch-ups of any loose hair extensions. Cornrow. Cornrows, also known as cane rows, are narrow rows of visible braids that lie close to the scalp and are created with the three-strand on-the-scalp braiding technique. Consistent and even partings are the foundation of beautiful cornrows. Learning to create these partings requires patience and practice. Using a mannequin to practice will help develop your speed, accuracy, and finger and wrist dexterity. Cornrows can be braided on hair of various lengths and textures. For long, straight hair, large cornrows are a fashionable and elegant hairstyle. Designer cornrows have become increasingly popular with elaborate designs demonstrating the stylist's skill and creative expression. The flat contoured styles can last several weeks when applied without extensions and up to 2 months when applied with extensions. Cornrows typically last 3 to 4 weeks. To ensure healthy hair, cornrows should be removed, shampooed, and conditioned within this time frame. Cornrows with extensions last 4 to 6 weeks. Layered cornrows should receive touch-ups on individual rolls to remain neat and tight, and they should be completely removed by 8 weeks to prevent knotting, locking, or thinning hair. Cornrows with extensions. Feed-in method. Extensions can be applied to cornrows or individual braids with the feed-in method. In this method, the braid is built up strand by strand with extension hair fibers. Excess amount of extension materials can place too much weight on the fragile area of the hairline and will tighten and pull the hair, leaving an unrealistic finished look. By properly applying the correct tension when using the feed-in method, the stylist can avoid an artificial look and prevent breakage. Traditional cornrows are flat, natural, and contoured to the scalp. The parting is important because it determines and defines the finished style. The feed-in method creates a tapered or narrow base at the hairline. Small extension hair pieces or strips are added to fill in the base, bringing the adjoining braids closer together. This technique takes longer to perform than traditional corn rolling. However, a cornrow achieved by the feed-in method lasts longer and looks more natural while placing excessive tension on the hairline. There are several different ways to start a cornrow and feed-in extension pieces. During the cornrow process, when picking up hair at the base, the hair directly underneath the previous revolution must be incorporated into the braid. The hair you pick up must never come from another panel or a lower part of the braid. The same is true when executing any braiding technique. Overextending or misplacing the beginning of the extension leaves the hair exposed and unsupported, leading to breakage and hair loss in that area. This is particularly true when adding extensions at the hairline. If the extension is not secured by 2 or 3 revolutions before picking up, it may shift away from the point of entry. For a professional finish, always trim any ends that stick up through the braid, holding your scissors flat. Move up the shaft as you trim, making sure to avoid cutting into the braid. Tree braids or interlocking. Tree braiding is a newer way to add hair for a longer look. The client's hair is braided or cornrow braided along with hair extensions, but the finished look shows mostly faux hair. Tree braids take about 4 hours, making them faster than some other techniques. There are few ways to create tree braids. Some braiders add individual strands of hair that are braided along with the natural hair and tied in place about half an inch from the scalp area. In this technique, a few very short braids can be seen standing up along the hairline, with the hair extensions long and unbraided flows freely to create the look of naturally long straight hair. Adding loose hair pieces to cornrows can also create tree braids. After a few sections are braided together, a small hair extension section is left out of the cornrow to hang free. This technique continues adding hair all along the cornrow. When the hair is completed, the free hanging sections of the extended hair completely conceal the cornrows, creating the look of natural long hair that is straight or wavy, depending on the texture of the extensions. Lock extensions. Lock extensions are another type of hair extension method. They create a natural looking lock style with additional human hair or synthetic hair fibers. Human hair lock extensions are the most natural looking lock style. Human hair lock extensions can be prefabricated and sewn onto individual braids. The crochet locking method is used to attach human hair extension locks with a crochet needle, weaving the hair in and out of individual braid. Another lock technique is created with an extension braid wrapped with afro texture hair to create a solid lock extension. Faux locks are created with prefabricated synthetic hair and are available in various colors and styles. The crochet method is also used to attach the extension locks to base cornrows to create the look. Synthetic locks have an open loop on their ends and are easy to install with the latch hook tool. So that is the end of braiding chapter 13 in the Milady Standard Cosmetology 14th edition. We're going to move on to wigs and weaves. Thanks for joining.